Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
Back to talk 90 Day Fiancé the other way. This is season 6, episode 10, Disenchanted. Brian, Disenchanted is what all the couples are becoming with one another or in some form their situation. I want to jump off with who we ended with. That would be Statler and Dempsey, the Van girls. We've had a running kind of bet here, Brian, how many countries they're going to make it to before the breakup happens. And I'm starting to lean back to yours that like they make it to France, like they may get like a country in. But
Yeah.
when you're living in a van, you're complaining about the price of the gas. You are not going to have good internet access and you have to work a remote job. And you also literally cannot agree with your partner on the conversations you've had about the money. I mean, I hate saying it, but like dead in the water, right?
100%. 100% dead in the water. I think you said pre-show, she was like, oh my God, 80 pounds. It's like you're also driving, like, even in USA, if you filled up a camper, it'd still be probably just as much money,
Or
the
more.
equivalent. Yeah. I mean, like, it's not, I didn't think that was a lot of money, honestly, for the car, the van they're driving for that price. They also bought a bunch of, unhealthy snacks. So I don't know. It's dead, man. It's so dead. It's just uninteresting, honestly.
Listen, Stadler put a bunch of money into it. Her name's not on the deed of the car. First of all, I've never heard anything that you can't have more than one person name on something like that. Just didn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
that sounds like BS.
But I also don't. I also believe the Statler comment, the Dempsey comment, which said that Statler is the one that pushed the timeline. I can totally see that happening. We've
Yeah.
seen how pushy she is and how much she's into it, but then not into it, right? Look, again, if you're complaining about the gas prices, you're complaining about internet, you're complaining about all about who put what in, and you've been in there for a couple days, it's just not gonna work, man. It's just not gonna. And the fact too, we've joked about Dempsey not wanting to work, but the statement where I like that Statler pushed it. She's like, oh, so like you're just gonna manifest the job wherever we go. You can't tell me one thing you actually do, but you're just gonna go, I believe in myself, I can fly. Like,
Yeah, that kind of mindset I always think is whack, especially when it comes down to like you've no form of income. I thought it was crazy. Yeah.
well, she does basically got money in the bank. And now I wish she had like I actually said something like 500 pounds or something. Like I wish we had known exactly how much money. They should have the financial
Yeah,
disclosure.
they needed like a pop-up. And again, this show, everyone is you can't trust anything anybody says. They're all to a fault. They all have a fault in them. And that's why they're on the show. So just it's really hard to believe anything. That's why like it's all like it's that's this is the like we're reacting because everything is so reaction based, especially by the people on the show. There's not a lot of thinking involved. Very flying off the seat of their pants emotions. So yeah, this one's definitely dead. It's just a matter of like when I don't know how many episodes are in the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him next week because I think it's like the timeline is that short.
I don't think there's a lot of juice left to squeeze here. So, like you said,
Yeah.
I do think that they need to be
Because
a
if she gets
little.
fired, it's done. I mean, it's over.
I don't think she's gonna get fired. I think she's gonna leave way before she lets herself get fired.
Yeah.
Like I could see that being like a one and done type of
Hmm.
no. This they also to be fair, like she said, and I'm gonna I don't know what kind of job she's got. I don't know any job in America that will forward you money.
Yeah, I mean, unless she has like a personal relationship.
Unless it's like a personal. Wait till we find out it's like her dad. I'm serious. I'm not
They
trying to.
said what her
What
job was. I
job?
just don't
What
remember
did she get?
exactly
Like
what it
a
was.
cash checking place? That's what I thought she was saying at first. And she's like, "Oh, I got an advance." So I'm like, "How the hell
I
do you
don't
get an
remember.
advance on your salary? Like, that's some loan shark type shit to go
Yeah,
live in
no.
a van down by the river, and the girl won't even. I
Yeah,
believe she drives the van.
that's my job. Chip fork.
Oh my god. I don't want to like sit on this one too long either, but the Corona and Ingy stuff, man. I don't like her vibe. I don't like the vibe of just trying to make sure you throw a lot of negativity. For objectively, this dude hasn't done anything wrong by her. He hasn't led her on. He didn't beg her to come to Iceland. He didn't tell her to not go to midwife school. I don't think he even really fully knew about all that until she got there. and to like have him with the family members and just like they are all joking around. She's like, "What did I say was funny?" It's like you said you were gonna kidnap her. Like that if you're actually in your dick, then we're just not gonna have a good relationship. Like literally, that's like the level of like fear you want me to have in you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so far what we've seen on the show, but it looks like the preview next week, he's really banging on like, oh, I have a ton of friends who aren't engaged that are in relationships. So I think that's going to be, but that's also her fault that she needed to get this in like almost writing.
It's not the right thing for him to say, but again, I understand his point. He's like, I know a lot of very happy people that get engaged and it's not, we're getting married in the next week, or next year. That just doesn't, I mean,
It's just like the point of the show, it just doesn't work.
the name of the show does,
Well, there
not,
are there's some. I mean, when the USA version, like there's restrictive guidelines. I don't know what the Iceland guidelines are, but maybe it's longer and they just fit like it's like an interesting thing to watch because it's the other way. But I mean, that's when he signs up for the show. I mean, he's got to kind of know
well, that's
what the
like the K they
dealio
talk
is.
about when we get to Shekinah and them. That's like that K1 stuff, like the
Yeah,
visa.
it's just different in every. I don't know what like we know USA's is 90 days. That's where the premise like the show started with the title, but I don't know like every
I
country
kind
is gonna
of
be exactly the same.
I'm sure a lot of our people know, Brian, but as you were saying that, I was thinking, oh, it's something interesting to look up. And then almost like don't want to look that up for countries because then we find out these countries have, say, 6 month limits
Yeah, or
regardless.
like no
You
limit.
know they got to go back. Like, I don't really want to know they're going to go back.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where like I was doing my rewatch now, like it's or like the watching all the seasons. It is very interesting to see how things go and like things like that. But like you said, this one's pretty. I mean, I think pretty tame, but I under I understand next week or whenever we see it why she could be upset, where he's like kind of like not very committal.
I can see that for sure. Checking quickly with Shekinah Sarper. This one was great because it was just Sarper the entire time of their segments, just being like, they just wanted to buy the vanity.
It was just a
You know,
documentary. It reminded me of a
just wanted
documentary.
to buy the vanity. And she's sitting there being like, well, I thought about it. And it was like, he probably was just embarrassed because he hadn't bought any. Like, I was getting him stuff for his birthday. He didn't have anything for me. So he wanted to buy that, but I didn't want. And I'm like, the whole time I'm sitting there, she's talking, dude. And it is Charlie Brown. It's wah, 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 wah. All I'm saying, my wife watched it with me tonight and I gave her the quick 60 second of what had happened last week. And we're both just going, well, why are you still in this country?
Yeah, that's what I said
Why are
last
you in
week.
this hotel? You didn't check the hotel. You should have checked in at the airport. Like, what are we talking about here?
I
And
said
he,
last week she's not going anywhere.
of course, she's not going anywhere, Brian. That
Yeah,
was
I
the
mean, it
most
just
obvious bet of all
none of
time.
it was surprising, but it to me it just seemed like I almost didn't need to see them because I would have I would have liked to see more of Josh and Lily, Mae, James, and Tata than them just recollecting what happened. We
I'm gonna
saw what
tell you
happened.
what, because that's literally all I had on Sarper Shekinah. I don't really need to see anything with Lily and that loser unless they're gonna show us showing him being this like intense asshole like they tell us about. Because every time we see him, he's just this little whiny little bitch in his Hawaiian shirts and his fifth grade flip haircut, and he sits there, and I believe her completely. Like I completely. Where do you get off, dude? Again, you knew what you were getting into. If you didn't think you were going to be married without a job, even though it's not your choice, and your wife wasn't going to nag you about the money, you dog, what are you doing?
Because he's distracted by this.
Flashing lights like should literally be the name of this episode. I mean, unreal that he's like, but 2 days you didn't answer. And she's literally like, I don't speak English. She's like, for
What do you
F's sake, man.
what do
Like,
you so like there's a couple things that was going through my mind. He's either a huge Men in Black fan and he's afraid of like losing his mind, or she just runs red lights.
she's got like a million parking tickets. I love that. I never thought about that.
That's what I thought. 'Cause he's just like,
I think I thought, Brian, that it's like the fire alarm. And it just blinks every so often in their
well,
garage.
the reason I thought of the red light is because he saw it in the car, and it was just like a red light cam over here, but just the way he did it, he was like Leo, like, oh, you see that? And she's like driving, and she's like,
They live in an Asian city. There's a lot of flashing
I know,
lights.
it just was really funny.
Like
That's all I thought
unreal.
about.
Like next he's gonna be like, I saw an Asian person on the corner. Like, what are they doing here?
Uh, it is.
Meanwhile, Well, I keep telling you that I don't think you love me. She's going, we're not happy. We should not probably be together. And he's like, well, our wedding ceremony's coming up. It's gonna be great.
Okay. Yeah, about that. I mean, just remember she said she was bankrupt when she really just like was like poor,
Yeah.
like didn't have a lot of money that week. So I do think there is a little bit of a like language barrier thing, like he said. But I mean, I know you don't care. I would just like this. I want to get to the moment when the brother comes and they're like, I'm waiting for that moment. When is that moment
Well, I
gonna happen?
care. It's gotta be soon.
Yeah,
How
I
many
mean,
episodes are these seasons?
it's weird because they begin like some of them are 10, and then like I felt like the one season we watched, the first one, 2 hours each, and I felt like we
There was
watched like
like 20 something
25.
episodes.
Yeah,
I could probably look at that
I'm gonna
up.
look it up. I'm gonna look it up while we talk about the next couple, and I'll just chime in with it.
Yeah, so
Your boy.
that one's done. I mean, that one's they're also not gonna make it. It says season 6 has 10 episodes. I don't believe it because we just watched our 10th episode. So that's probably just it's saying that's how many it's
No,
got.
there's the 11's next week.
Yeah, there we go.
But
I
I'm
am
gonna just look up like the other way like episode list just because I don't remember.
guaranteed at least 12 episodes because they have that's how far TV Guide has it up to at least. So I mean, we're gonna have more than 12. There's no way that this season's
Yeah,
got
because I
two
just that
episodes
one
left.
season we watched, man, the first one, which was great. I felt like we were watching it forever, like ever and ever and ever.
Yeah, let's talk about our my Lego friend, Elevator Boy, Tata and James. I just still don't understand like how they're landing on their feet here. They've all talked about the fact they still don't have any money. Nothing's changed with that. They're kind of just moving on to draw to putting wallpaper on concrete, a mattress on the floor. He's giving away his Legos to those kids. He probably doesn't even want to give them away. That cheap bastard also he just brought his own Legos from home and buy them. Like
Hmm.
God forbid you could have bought them a couple new ones so you could hand them a box of Legos. You handed them like a Ziploc bag of Legos. That's a choking hazard, bud. I hate
And
that.
like, I think that their dad, like her mom and dad, are seem super nice. Like he's
They
pushing them
don't
on the
deserve
bed.
this,
Yeah, they
Brian.
don't. They seem like super nice. Like they're like helping them build the door, set up the wallpaper, and they're complaining about everything. And it's like these guys, they must maybe they're making more from the banana chips than we think.
This show should be 90 Day Fiance. These parents don't deserve it. Like that's
Yeah,
like literally what the title of this, or these children don't deserve it. When we
yeah.
get back to the Irish people next week, when that looks like she's gonna maybe have some common sense and realize she can't move her kids to Ireland before they're done school. Um, but yeah, James and Tata, this was a very soft episode for them. I'm very like the big thing that's going to come is that he doesn't want a kid. And I think it's not going to be that he doesn't want a kid. I think if the truth serum, he's like, I don't want to have a kid in Indonesia.
Yeah, I think he's in a. I think he can cave on that though.
He's going to literally become a peasant, Brian.
Yeah, he's just a dork.
I wish the US would just like wouldn't let him back in.
Did you recognize? I know you're a Lego person. Did you recognize what he was given there? Or you think it was just like a bag of his like
Yeah, they were
misfit?
little old sets and stuff. Didn't seem like it was like a specific one. There was like a little spaceship one, and then looked it was kind of like a pirate ship, like a Viking ship, but like it didn't seem like he was like, oh, here's like this Star Wars set or anything like that. So
Would there have been any ones that if he gave and would made you laugh out loud?
if they were like super expensive ones, yeah, like I seen him handing over
He
some
complained
like
about money and he can't sell his Legos.
yeah, he said he's selling like handing over like a $600 like Millennium Falcon one, like you know what I mean, like that would have been classic. But yeah, I am I'm just very curious to see like I need them to get intense again. Like I can't have them just like
It
sitting
looks like
around.
next week, actually, both of previews.
Well, she's gonna get to the point because she wants the kid, right? And like I think they're saying next week seems like that's when the combo is going to
Yeah, because the sister
happen.
is like, I don't know. These people have relatives pop out of nowhere.
It's very funny because if you just like see the TV guide stuff, it's just like James makes a heartbreaking admission to Tata.
So he says it out loud finally.
And then like see one for 2 weeks from now, Sarp Shekinah and Sarp return to a therapist for help.
Oh my God, that's probably gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
It's like, come on, like, oh my God. Yeah, so
Yeah.
episode title for next week's subscription. Eat, Play, Lie. Dempsey reaches a breaking point while Statler battles a panic attack at sea. At sea, boy.
Oh, maybe they're like doing a
On a
ferry.
very, Shekinah gives Sarper a stern ultimatum. James making heartbreaking admission to Tata. Sean bonds with Joanne's sons, but feel the pressures of keeping secrets. We saw the preview with them that like he's like, I can't wait 6 more years. I did the math. I'm assuming that's like how much longer the youngest son, has left until he graduates high school, basically.
I hope Shekinah's like it's the bottles or me. Like we get that ultimatum.
Dog. That's literally, if we could have one question on a press junket, it's like, when are you going to break the bottles? And if you were to become a bottle, what do you think your bottle
The
would be?
tell all better like have some juice with those bottles. They need to address the bottles because they
Actually, I
injected
think that
quality
would be my
marks.
question. Shekinah, if you were one of the bottles, what would you be and
Yeah.
why?
Belvedere.
I would be Ciroc.
Yeah, probably something like that. Moving.
Cavassier.
Yeah.
Um, did I miss anybody?
No, there's only 5 this week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Power ranking wise, Brian, let's run through them real quick.
I got
For
all these people tied at dead last. I don't think any of
Yeah,
them will
all
make this.
the couples. Do any besides Shekinah and Sarper, who are inevitable, any of the other ones stay together?
No, I'm that's where I'm standing now. I don't feel confident about anybody anymore.
If the one woman, if the Italian mom was willing to abandon her children, then yeah, they would have a shot. But that one's probably not
No,
happening,
I think they're all done. I
except for
strongly feel
Shekinah and
that way.
Sarper, who will eventually host this show.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get married. It's the point of the show. I don't see any of these people get married.
I think it's a fair assumption. Cool. So yeah, if you guys are TLC fans, like I said, we're covering 90 Day. If you are fans of Bachelor Nation, the finale of The Bachelorette this week, Brian and I will have you covered there. If you are a competition reality fan, there are things like The Anonymous, The Challenge. We have Survivor 47 premiering in a few weeks. If you're Netflix fans, we did Love is Blind, both UK and Mexico this summer, as well as all the USA seasons. Check that out. We cover all the Netflix shows. If you are a Love and Hip Hop fan, Brian does 60-second short reviews of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and the whole Love and Hip Hop series. What else do we have going on, Brian? House of Villains coming up. We
Yeah,
have
we got to do a preview for that.
Golden
I
Bachelorette.
Yeah, I just wrapped Alone today. So that's over. And I think that's it. Honestly, right now we're kind of in a little bit of a low period.
Which is good. So our videos will still be coming out mostly daily here. We will keep you guys up. Comment, let us know shows you'd like us to watch. If there's some TLC shows you think that we would really enjoy, let us know. We're always open. If you have anybody, other podcasts, people you want us to collaborate with, let us know. Or if you're ever looking to scratch your own itch and maybe review a show, hit us up. We've done it before. So, but all socials at The Reality Guys, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. But until our next review, for myself and Brian, thank you so much for watching. Happy Labor Day, everybody.